guys, I hope you're all well. I'm so sorry I haven't put up a video in a week. I actually just started a new job on Monday and it's been super busy. I will do my best to keep these videos going, keep updating, having reviews, tutorials and everything, but it's just going to take me a while to kind of settle into things, getting up at 6:45 every day. So please excuse me if in the next couple of weeks I don't have many videos up. So today I'm going to be doing a video about Dulce Cosmetics. Some of you may have seen them before or seen their adverts pop up all over YouTube and Blogger. But they are a Canadian website, but they do ship all over the world, I think. And they make really, really affordable cosmetics. Now, as I said in one of my previous videos about drugstore makeup, I get so many messages from young girls saying they really want to start experimenting with makeup. You know, they're just starting to get into it, but they can't afford to buy MAC and all the kind of brands that us gurus use on YouTube. So when I was approached by Dulce to review some of their products, I was very happy because they are extremely affordable. I mean, their products range from about $2 to $10, and for the price, I think they are really good quality. I'm not going to lie and say that the quality is amazing. You can't compare something that costs $2 to something that costs $40. For example, their foundation costs $5. And something like the Makeup Forever HD costs almost $50. So you can't really compare something that costs, you know, a tenth of the price of something else. But for the price that it is, I think it's really, really good. And if you liked mineral products, baked mineral eyeshadows, mineral foundations, things like that, then I think this is a really great company to check out. I'm really happy I found this, so I really wanted to share it with you guys. As you can see, my whole face is quite shimmery and glowing. Most of the eyeshadows and products that Dulce Cosmetics do are quite shimmery. So if you're of the older generation and don't really like that because you feel it accentuates any kind of flaws, then do beware, because all their eyeshadows, you know, are pretty shimmery as they're predominantly mineral based. So if you want to see how I did this, then stay tuned for the tutorial. So the first thing I've already done is put on my foundation, and for this I used the True Match powder in shade number 2. I wouldn't recommend using the brush on here. Although it's stiff and it's a nice size, it is a little bit scratchy. So although I like the idea of this packaging, I wouldn't recommend using the brush. Instead, I just used a synthetic barefaced beauty brush, took some of the powder and buffed it all over the skin. You probably won't be able to tell, but the powder does have a little bit of shimmer in it. So it's unlike most powder foundations that look quite flat and matte. And you can see that there still is a slight iridescence and some sheen around the high planes of the face. So if you have dry skin but you want to use a powder foundation, then you might like this one because it does have shimmer in it. Now let's get started with the eyes. The first thing I'm taking is the Mono Shimmer Eyeshadow. This one is in shade number 11. It's my favourite type of eyeshadow from the Dulce line. I've tried out quite a few of their quads and sets. This one I think is $2 on the website, but you can see how pigmented it is. Just one swipe. I'm actually going to use it wet, just so you can see the pigmentation on camera, so it's a little bit more bright, and also so the lasting power is better. So what I want to do is take just one drop of MAC's Mixing Medium. I'm just putting it straight onto the shadow. I've found that because these can be used wet or dry, they don't get ruined or anything if you use them wet. So I just kind of do it in the corner. You can see there. Just get some on my brush. This is a Body Shop eyeshadow brush. I'm just going to start gently pressing it all over the lid. You can see the amazing colour that you get by foiling these and wetting them. I mean, this does not look like a $2 eyeshadow to me. So once you've got that all over your lid, I'm just going to take a MAC 217 brush, so any fluffy brush. I'm going to get the tiniest amount on the end, and I'm just going to use that to blend out the edges. For the under eye, I'm taking the Stardust Eyeshadow, and this is colour number 2. These are really nifty, loose shadows. As you can see, there's a little sponge there with a loose shadow on it. When you put it back in, it's on a spring, so it kind of pops into the powder. And that just means that when the powder is here, you're still getting, you know, your sponge applicator in there. When you've used a little bit up there, the spring will just go down. So it means that you can use up the whole thing without getting powder everywhere, because if it came with a long applicator and you're trying to get it out, it's going to be very messy. So this just helps it be a little neater. I really like this for use under the eye, just because it's already on that little applicator, and all you have to do is kind of sweep it underneath just by using the edge. For the inner corner, I'm using the Frost Quad Eyeshadow that looks like this. It comes with a mirror and these 4 colours. I'm taking the lightest one, which is kind of a pinky iridescent white, and you can see how it has a marbleized effect. I'm just going for the white parts. I don't really want any of the pink. And then I'm just going to get a little bit of this bronzy one as well. And we're going to apply that into the inner corner just to brighten it up a little. And then I always get comments from young girls who say they can't afford brushes or they don't have access to them. And as you can see, most of these quads come with the sponge tip applicators. Now I know on YouTube it's a bit of a controversial issue. A lot of people are speaking about their love or hate about sponge tip applicators. I used to use these all the time when I was younger, you know, especially with cheaper eyeshadows that have poor pigmentation. These really help to pack it on. So in all my tutorials I use brushes. I prefer brushes, you know, I've invested the money into them. I feel like I can do so much more with them. But if you don't have brushes, it doesn't mean that you can't do the same kinds of looks. I'm just going to show you. If I'm going to take the darkest green colour here, dark mossy green, you can just get a little bit, don't need too much, on the end of your sponge tip applicator, and say that we're doing the outer crease. So we're doing the same thing that we would do with our brush, going using the tip along the outer portion like that. As you can see, I have a little bit of fallout here, but that's okay. That's always to be expected with mineral eyeshadows. And then I'm going to use that same tip and we're going to sweep in into the crease. And this is how we've done our outer V. Now you can just turn over and start blending that colour in and up. Just take your time, kind of blend it softly, don't sweep, just do it in light motions along. It's possible. It does take a little bit longer and takes a little bit of practice, but you can see I could have just used a brush and done pretty much the same thing. So for those girls out there, all my teenage viewers, please don't be worried that you can't follow my tutorials. You can use these little things to the same effect. Right, that's my little rant over. Then, if you want to deepen the crease, I'm going to take the Brilliant Fusion Complement eyeshadow. This is my favourite one of the set. As you can see, it's got a really nice shimmery light, kind of pearly colour, a brown, a taupey grey and a dark grey. I'm just going to take that brown, just a little bit, just a MAC 222, and we're going to work a little bit just right in the outside of the crease, just to deepen it up and create some contrast with the green. Now for my highlighter, I'm going to be using the Marble Muffin Cake, and this is the number 1. I'm just going to take a really small amount of that and put it underneath it. I think on the website it says it's kind of an all-over finishing powder, but as you can see, even on my skin, it's super light, so I would not recommend it as an all-over powder unless you are very, very pale. So now for the eyes, we're going to use the waterproof liner. This is the black one. And this reminds me a lot of MAC's Penabsolute Eyeliner and the Lancome liner, which is just the same, a felt tip liner, except this one is smudge and waterproof. And you would think that such an inexpensive brand, would it really be waterproof? Okay, you can see how it's pretty dark. If I just wait for like 1 or 2 seconds, it's probably set by now, you can see it hasn't smudged at all. It does last pretty well, especially for the price. I think it's really, really good. And also, if you're a beginner with liquid liner, then this is perfect because it's literally like a felt tip marker pen, so it's so easy to use. And the end is also very sharp, so you can get a really thin line if you want. So what I do is just start near the middle and work my way out as usual. I'm just kind of laying the tip sideways and dragging it along the bases of the lashes. And for the outside, my usual trick, going along the lower lash line. I find that some people, when they go, they think, okay, I'm going along the lower lash line, and then they raise their eyebrows really high. And as you can see, if I do this and then that, the angle here changes. So make sure when you first do it, you're not raising your eyebrows. Just look straight into the mirror, or even look down a little bit. See, I'm even trying to do it now. There. Because if I did that, you can see how it starts pulling the outside up, so you don't want that. But then once you've already got your initial line, you can raise your eyebrows, and that will just help to stretch the skin and make sure you get a really even line. can I just to finish off the eyes use whatever mascara you want. I'm using Makeup Forever Smoky Lash. Now we're going to take that same baked powder, and what I also forgot to mention is that for $6 you get 15 grams of this. When I saw the back of it, I was like, that is a lot of product, because this really goes a long way. I mean, it's strange because look at this compared to MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. It is a little bit thicker, but by size it looks like you'll get so much more in here, doesn't it? The MAC Mineralized Skin Finish is only 10 grams, so you get 1.5 times in this one. I'm going to use it with a little fan brush. Just got this one off eBay in a set. This powder is very kind of powdery, if you can see, so make sure you tap it off. But all I do is just kind of put a little bit on the high planes of my cheekbones here. Just here. It does have a slight shimmer, but I wouldn't say it was a shimmery highlighter. It's more, it has very small particles of shimmer. It's very subtle if used, you know, in small amounts. For my cheeks, I'm going to be using the Brilliant Fusion Blusher. Super pigmented, so you need literally the tiniest amount. So just get a little powder brush. I literally just dip the ends in, tap off any, and start at the apples of my cheeks and then blend it back. It's much easier to build on this kind of colour, especially because it's also shimmery. You really don't want to go overboard. And last but not least is the Geo Lip Gloss and Liner. I thought this was really cool. When I first saw it, I wasn't really sure. I was thinking, what is this? This does not look like the same colour as that, if that's meant to be like a tester or anything. Then I looked on the website, and actually in the top, pull it out, it's a little pencil. The liner is more of a kind of naturally-ish but dark brown colour. This is a little bit too dark for me, but I really like the colour of the gloss, so we're just going to be using that to finish off, because you don't want too much colour when you've got all that green going on. And they also feel very moisturising. I think they contain lanolin oil, so they're not like the kind of lip glosses that are sticky. Like when I pat my lips together, they're not sticky at all. It's kind of more like a balm, but with that shimmer. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and please subscribe, rate and comment, and check out Dulce Cosmetics if you're interested. I shall see you soon, guys. Lots of love. Bye.